Just before we start, I'll just give you, can I draw you? Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know what you look like, mate. So usually if you check my feed, I can go from very, very feminine to extremely masculine. So I don't know if you know my work, but I can just grab a few, fold a few examples in front. So I go from this, as you can see, extremely muscular. And then we've got some sort of superheroes and Spider-Man and so on. So you can see, give you a quick idea as to what I do, apart from just feminine females. I do faces as well, but we won't be covering the face today. We will only be covering the body. So, as I was saying, I'm good. Thank you, Veneer. How you doing? Nice. Buongiorno. Can you draw? Do you use shapes when you're drawing? Yes, I will explain it step by step. So all I ask of you is that you hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube, because I'm heading over to YouTube, right? So if you guys and girls want to see YouTube lives with this type of drawing or these types of drawing, I will be heading to YouTube, right? So please subscribe to that and then you won't miss out. Good stuff. All I ask you guys to do is hit the like button. It is early, but that's just the way it is. Life goes on. The early bird catches the first worm. Oh, gee, this is a fire character. Thank you. I designed that all myself. I designed this one, and this young lady, actually, this cute anime-looking character as well. Do you find peace in drawing? Yes, I do. Thank you. I do. I love drawing. They say turn your work into your play. So this is for me, not work. I enjoy the whole exploration of art, and I enjoy the whole exploration of our different art styles. V, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Cute art style. Zenny, thank you. So let's get into this. I hope you guys realize that when you are in my live streams, they are very interactive, right? So you are allowed to ask questions predominantly about what we're doing, right? And I will also ask you to get involved, share the work, share the live, ask questions, and so on, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a longer one because we have to go into the body, the structure of the body. We have to go into poses. So it's going to be quite a good one. It's not going to be an easy one, but it will be a good one. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you really like what you see, please share it. And if you really like me, buy me a watch. Everyone's like, a watch? No, I'm joking. I don't want a watch. I've got watches. So anyway, good. Let's get rid of that. Just put it to the side. So what and how are we going to do today? So first of all, what we have to do is understand the human body, right? So normally when I draw the human body, it doesn't matter. Well, if I draw someone, it's going to look something like this, right? Some big meathead looking guy, whatever, right? So you have to understand that you have to break down the human body, right? In the same way that I have to break down this pose here, right? Because every pose has its own rhythm. In the same way that you look at this girl here and you can see she's got this cute little pose going on there, and you have to understand where the weight is distributed. You have to understand the hip position, the hip angle, for example, and also the shoulder angle. These are the things that you have to calculate, or it just looks weird. Then she just looks like a zombie if you get that wrong, right? This is one of my most popular images or tutorials. You can find how I drew this one on my feed in a couple of steps, right? So as you can see here, I'm just going to make sure I don't mark it. As you can see here, I've got certain guidelines that I refer to, right? I've left these guidelines here on purpose. So the people that want to learn to draw this young lady, can see how I construct her. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go with that today. What are we learning? We are learning fashion, the female form in fashion poses. I'm not going to try and do it because then I'm just going to look weird myself. Yeah, she is actually dancing. And this one is one of my favorite ever images, and I would never touch it again. I would never touch it again. I would redraw her, but never touch the old one again. I would probably put a lovely flowing dress if I can work out how that would work, you know, how it would flow. Because a lot of the things that we draw, like in motion, the clothing has to follow the flow of the person wearing it, or it just looks strange. So bear that in mind. So if you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you are not on my TikTok feed, please do. I've got many tutorials. As I said, the anatomy is one that I focus on quite a lot. Male and female, poses, eyes, hair, and blah, blah, blah. So let's get into this. Right. Let me make sure I've got my paper. Good. So everyone happy? Anyone got any questions? Oh, maybe a what? A saw? I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Am I very... No. Oh, the arm. The arm. No problem, Veneer. Hang in there. I've got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Aunt Walker's in the house, mate. You don't need to worry. Let me push that over just in case. Right. So, or maybe a shawl. Maybe a shawl. Yeah, but at the moment she hasn't got much. She's not wearing much. But, you know, it's just a framework, right? We're not going to go mad about that. And as I said, we're going to try and explore different body shapes, right? So if you don't know how to draw the human body, I'm just going to draw it very quickly here, right? On the side here. So basic straight line. Everyone draw a straight line. And I'm going to continue to draw the human head, right? So we have to go through these basics because I'm not sure what level you all are at. I'm not sure. So we're going to start everything from the beginning, right? So we are going to draw the human body, or excuse me, we're focusing on the female body. We're focusing on the female body like so. Yeah. So if you can draw that, you are halfway there. So I'm going to go quickly into the proportions. And then we are going to do poses. And then there we go like that. Yeah, let's just go that way. Yeah, good. So has everyone drawn this figure? Has everyone drawn this figure? I'll wait. I'll give you guys a second. If you've drawn this figure, then we can move on. A shawl, yeah, a shawl would be lovely. Arms are very complicated for me. I've done that one. Let's go. Volta, nice to see you. Ro, nice to see you. All right. Good. Has everyone drawn that? Yes. Good. Right. So as you can see here, right, this pose is very stiff. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But this is what we have to avoid, because here it's almost like you want to move with the image, don't you? You have the feeling that you want to dance as well. So this is what you have to catch. You have to catch that. And the way you do it, I believe, is mainly the hip position, the spine, and the shoulder angles. So if you get that right, you will nail it, guaranteed every time, right? So let's go into what I actually mean. If we look at the shoulder position, it's very straight. All right, very straight. It's almost like, you know, when when people get arrested and they say stand still, and you just stand there and you look at the camera. This is exactly what this looks like. It looks like a mugshot, right? That I'm gonna hold on. Let me just tidy that up a bit because that's a little bit too deep. So it looks even harder than before. So this is looking like a mugshot, very basic, right? I would draw any character like this. I haven't got, say for example, this young lady here, I would have started her like this. Obviously, I would fine tune the positions, right? And the angles of the hips and so on. But I would have started her like this. So if you're not aware of what I would have done, I would have started, or I start any character like this. And I recommend that you do that, especially if you want to learn how to draw arms, veneer. Practice drawing a person just straight like this, right? This line here is the spine, right? This is the spine right at the back here. So that's what you have to remember, right? And then we can add some more cylinders. As you can see, I'm just adding cylinders, right? And then I'll add the calf and so on. So this just gives us a basic position, standing position for our female, right? We're not going to go into adding body weight to her yet, right? But this is just a basic female. And I hope everyone gets that. Is everyone getting that? I don't even know what you look like, Jeffy. I have no idea. Made in Ukraine. Nice. Thank you for the follows. To all that are following, thank you very much. So now, what did I say? What did I say the key aspects were for getting the body to look a little bit more energetic? What did I say they were? I'm just going to test you quickly. What did I say they were? The key aspects to drawing. Yes. You missed one thing, Volto. Bang. Your local cat lady. You got it, right? That is exactly what you have to remember. So now, watch what I do here, right? I am going to draw this young lady here that I just showed you, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the spine position. Right, so we got spine position. I'm going to change the shoulder position. So this would be the rib cage, right? So this is the rib cage. And then I'm going to tilt the hip position like so. Bear in mind that I'm going to have to correct this line a little bit. Like so. When you look at this, you automatically feel some movement in this person. So now what I'm going to do is, you continue the spine upwards, right? This is all sketch. So if there are little mistakes like here and here, just ignore it, right? Because when you're sketching, it's very important that you keep that flow going, right? So obviously the head connects to the spine here. We'll draw the side of the head. So now we have our head connected to the spine. We can add a little bit of the neck here, for example. One shoulder is higher than the other, which is what we wanted. So we're going to add the arm. The arm, the distance is roughly just under the rib cage. That distance there is roughly just to the rib cage here, under the rib cage. So we have to be aware of that. So I'm going to try and copy that young lady I drew before. Tack, just here, and she's got one arm going up here. And then this arm is going back here. Just very roughly. And then it's going this way. Proportion we can sort out later on, right? So now we've got our young lady doing a teapot impression. We have to add the legs. So I've drawn a different shape hip here because there are a couple ways that I do it. This way is slightly different from that way, but the results are the same. What I would do now is I would add, I'm going to just look at the leg, the thigh, and then I would add knee, and then I'll add the shin. Then I'll add the foot. So now I've got, I put one leg. Okay, I'll just have to check that quickly. This part here is connecting to the hips. So I'm going to do the same. I've even made her look even more like she's dancing now. So here to the knee, connect it. This leg is going behind to here, and this is the foot. I've got a leg, should have been a little bit straighter if I'm honest, but you can see how I've executed that, right? I'll stop in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cylinders to this quickly. These are my placeholders, right? So this just gives me a good idea as to what I should be concentrating on. Now, as you can see, I've made the hips wider. Females usually, don't jump on me, but usually have wider hips. So now we're going to widen the hips down to here. And then we have our lovely female form. One of our lovely female forms, because females have different forms and they are all lovely. There you go. Look at that, baby. So she's dancing away. We can add the feet very basically. We don't need to go into too much detail because that might not be important. Maybe your actual clothing that you add to the female. Oops, I've gone a bit hippie there. I've gone a bit heavy on the thighs there, but that's all good. But now we have our female. So let me see what's going on in the chat. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. Thank you for the people that are contributing already. Where exactly do you connect the lines to the dots in the middle or sides? Not sure what you mean, Volta. You might have to rephrase that. Where exactly do you connect the lines to the dots? So you mean the joints in the middle or sides? I think you mean the joints. So if you imagine that this is the rib cage, this is the rib cage here. I hope I'm not misunderstanding you. Then we have the abdominals here. Do you see what I mean? The rib cage is a good signal for where the actual elbows belong, because you don't want your elbows right down here, because then she's going to have really long, weird arms. This arm is maybe a little bit short, but that's okay. When we're in the design phase, we can get away with murder because we're just searching for the right lines, right? And that's basically what I would do. Anyone, is that helping you? Shoulders, exactly. Shoulder, spine, and waist area. Anyone got any questions about that? Anyone got any questions? And thank you, Gianluca, for the 5 roses. Much appreciated. And if you like what you see, please hit the like button. I'm not in the UK. I was born in the UK. Thank you. London boy. I'm a London boy. Been out of the UK for 24 years. I grew up in Brixton and Camberwell. Thank you, El Harper. Any questions for the lovely roses? Any questions? So now, look, you see that? Stiff, energetic. Leighton. Okay, I know there. See, this is what you want to get. So what I would suggest now, if I say rule number 1 is to get the spine right, the reason why this person is so stiff is because the spine is so straight. Tuck. You're welcome, Ruru. I'm going to be cheeky and ask you to follow me or subscribe to my YouTube, because I'm actually going, recently I've just been drawing some really big, hulking guys. And I thought, no, I need to do something else. So I just decided this morning to do some fashion stuff. And I'm going to actually start doing some clothing. God help us. God help us. I'm going to actually start doing the clothing as well. But my goal is to catch the rhythm on the of the clothing on the motion of the actual person. Because at the moment, I've been really doing a lot of hold on. I've been doing a lot of tutorials on very muscular. I'm just trying to find one just to show you. Yeah, like muscular, the drawing the back, how to draw the back and stuff like that. So, and I mean ultra muscular testosterone males. So I don't want to do that anymore. I've changed my mind. So this is why you're going to see my artwork is going to go yeah, there you go, like that. I draw like that all the time. But what I like to do is I like to set myself challenges, and I say, right, go full 180, full 180, go from ultra masculine to really delicate and feminine. And that's what I like to do that. So I'm going to go through this phase now. And I hope you enjoy that. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Just support my channel by sharing. That's all I ask. And then hopefully the algorithm will help me, and then I'll be famous. And you'll all say, oh, I was part of that. No, I don't want to be famous. I'm joking. Don't want to be famous. Thank you very much for the donut. Really appreciate it. So, anyone got any questions before I go on? Anyone got any questions? And if you have any questions, I suggest you ask them. I'm just going to wait a moment. Thank you for the share. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I don't see any questions coming up unless you guys are writing a book. Okay. Right. Okay. How do you draw the spine from the front? Well, bear in mind the spine is not actually at the front, right? So if you imagine the spine, it looks roughly like this, right? It looks roughly like that. And then we have our rib cage here. Let's narrow it a little bit here, right? And then we have our hip area here, right? The hips is actually open here. It's actually open there, right? And then obviously we would add the skull like so. And this is basic anatomy, showing how the skull, obviously the spine has a thickness, right? Let's pull that back a little bit. Wrong pen, like so. And then it stops here. And then the spine dips here as well. It actually dips here. So this is how. So when you ask the question about from the front, you wouldn't actually see the spine from the front, because we have our stomach here, like so. Shoulder, and then obviously legs, thighs, and whatever. So I hope that helped you. So how do you go about? Right. So it's a good question, because yesterday I was talking to someone about it, and I said 2.5 heads and they said 3. However, basically, with regards to fashion, when we go back to the fashion drawing, you're going to notice that, well, if you're just drawing a standard body, it's usually around 8 heads high. So this should be around 8 heads high from here to around here. So I should be going down roughly 8 heads high. But that is not the truth because everybody has a different height. However, if you're searching for the hip line, that is around 3 to the top of the thigh. We have around, so we have 1.5, maybe a quarter here. So we have 2 and then 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's the proportion of the body here. When you are drawing fashion models, right? And I'm talking typical, sometimes a bit strange with regards to proportion fashion models. You have the same 3 heads. However, you might lengthen the legs. As opposed to having 4, you have 5. So it really pushes the length of the legs. Like here, I've got the head. I'm going 1, 2. So you see it's roughly around 3. Right? Head height, 1, 2. So definitely 3 heads. I've got 3 heads down to here. Usually I should have around 4 heads around the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4.5, maybe 5. So that's what makes the legs look extremely long and extremely elegant. But we can play with that. We could turn that young lady into a plus size quite easily. We just have to add a little bit more weight to the hips and so on. Good morning, Dargan. There you go. That's the spine from the side. That is what you would have to understand, that the spine is curved like so. And if you like what you see, and if I'm helping you, please support my channel by hitting the like button, following, and sharing. Oh, hold on. It's just jumping. It's just jumping. Hold on. How do you go about the shape? Well, the body shape, it depends. It depends on the female that you're drawing, right? Because as you guys probably know, we have females with different body shapes. Sorry, I'm teasing. Because I could say to you, oh, well, you know, you have to draw the female body like this. Let's just say, argument's sake, I say that this is the body shape of a female, right? We've got our center line, which represents our spine at the back. And then obviously we have to round it all off because nobody walks around like a block like this, obviously, right? So that's my recommendation for the female form, slightly wider at the hips. But then you're starting to fall into this stereotypical realm because then you also have females that are broader at the top and straighter at the hips. You have let's say you have females that are both straight at the top and straight at the hips. It's debatable, right? And then you have athletic, or like you have, let's say that this is a standard female, right? We could argue that this is standard, right? But then we could draw a female where we say, right, okay, let's go hourglass. So we go broader at the hips, smaller at the waist. And then we go, broader at the shoulders. So now we have another female body type. So this is a very tricky area to negotiate because there's no real 100% rule. And that's that's what we have to avoid. I don't. No, well, I don't. Well, as you can see, we could add a floor to it. It's not going to be difficult. Yeah, Yeah, she's actually on tippy toes. But if you wanted to add shoes to her feet, that's entirely up to you. I'm not teaching you guys how to draw clothing. I'm just teaching you guys how to draw the body and catch that body rhythm. That's all I'm teaching you to draw. When I draw clothing, I go online. I looked up 1950s clothing and I try and put it together on the, that's why I like these cool trousers and stuff like that. And then I looked up industrial machinery and I just made something up here. I have no idea what that is. And even the arm, I have no idea. But I'm not teaching you guys to draw the clothing, just the body. And the male body, you have to look that one up on my feed. I'm only doing the female. I never mix my feeds because then somebody else says, can we draw the eyes? Can we draw the ears, the nose? And then the feed is it's gone. So I stick only to one theme. Sorry, I can't help you there. But if you go to my feed, you can find some tutorials on how to draw the male body, guaranteed. Thank you very, very much for the gifts. El Sapa said, one day at a time. El Sapa again. Astro Bay, much appreciated. Please hit the like button if you like what you see. And you could subscribe to my YouTube channel because I will be heading there very soon. And you could follow me if you like this type of tutorial. Was that my question? I think, hold on, let me see. What was your question? With regards to tippy toes. Oh, Brixton. Oh dear, I missed that one. Brixton Bullies. Angeltown Bullies. You're welcome. How do you draw the spine? We've done that from the front, so I'm just scrolling through again. Silver Surfer, sorry, I don't mix the tutorials, as I said. Yeah, there you go. Jana said it yesterday. You missed me yesterday, mate. Unfortunately, I did it fully. Full. The male back. No, that's not the one. But yeah, did that yesterday. Isaac, you have to ask the question again, mate. I've lost it. I've lost the question. How you doing, Aloha? Kim, how you doing, mate? So I'm not sure what's going on there. Keep the chat about not doing hair, Gianluca. Only the body. Yeah. I draw the men pretty much always like this. Like Kim, my moderator. So don't mess with him. He'll come and pick you up. Oh, you didn't get that? Oh, right. Well, here, the question with the tippy toes. This young lady's dancing, right? But here, if I was to draw the feet, I would start the feet like this anyway. This is how I draw the feet for people anyway. And she's not actually on tippy toes. Here, definitely, but here not. It's just that we can't see the detail here. She's actually got her feet flat on the floor. No problem at all. Was up until 3 a.m. Oh, Lord. That's not good. Do I have a floor for drawings? Not sure what you mean. No, well, yeah, you can draw a floor. That is simply a horizontal line, right? You don't, it depends. If she was dancing and now we're going into perspective, which is totally different. She could be dancing in a room full of people. Now we've added perspective to the drawing. The lower you put the floor, the shorter you put the perspective, and the smaller you make the room. However, we're not going that way. We are not going that way. You're good. Cheers, Silver. Check my feed, mate. There's tons of tutorials on there, mate. And I don't mix them for that reason, because I need to keep them as pure as possible on the one subject, if you know what I mean. Good. So if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you really like what you see, buy me a car. I'm moving along with you. Get in practice. That's where I leave it. Good. Okay, pencil in hand. Okay, let's keep going. So now I'm going to draw, push this box over. I'm going to draw another young lady here, right? Exactly. And Isaac, if you imagine the feet from the front, our feet literally look like that. That would be our big toe, and then we'd have our smaller toes like that. If I draw the human body, I literally draw the feet like that. And the heel is here somewhere at the back, right? That's what you have to imagine. That's why I draw that triangle. That's basically why. So let's draw another young lady, right? So I'm going to go, I drew some earlier. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to establish the spine. I'm going to try and keep it all color coordinated, right? Right, so now we're going to draw the head. I'm going to swap it just so it can be a little bit clearer. So let's go head. She's looking straight towards us. If you don't know how to draw the human head, that is something you're going to have to study with me, because we do that a lot. Right, so I don't want her to have very broad shoulders. So let's go skinnier here, slimmer. Bear in mind, we're looking for 3 heads. 1, 2, 3. So that means our hips are roughly around here, right? So I want to tilt the hips. I'm going to tilt the hips a bit higher, like so. So this is this is the start point that I want for myself, right? Now, with the legs, when you're drawing anything pretty much, you have to know where the weight is being distributed. So I'm pushing it that the weight is here on this front leg. I've run out of space. That's annoying. Run out of space. Okay, I'm going to continue it anyway. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Run out of space. So this front leg is taking the weight. And then this shoulder is higher. I'm going to have to look at that myself because I did it earlier. And then this shoulder is behind here. That's throwing me off, that has. Yeah, that's throwing me off because I actually want to accentuate that leg. Let's do that again. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to just do the hip section for this young lady here, right? So we're going to go like that. This is the hip section, right? The hip is slightly tilted, as you can see. I'm going to tilt it a bit more. Now, the thigh comes down like so. I've drawn it long again. I don't know why I'm going extra long. Just fitting the foot in. And then we're going to draw this other leg here. So now, as you can see, the spine would be going up like this. I have drawn this young lady fashion style, and you can see the motion in the body here, and say for example the rib cage would be roughly here. So this leg would be going behind, and I've run out of space again, and this foot would be going at the front. Unfortunately, I don't know why I'm doing that, so I'm going to have to do that again. I'm going to do a nice big one here, right? Let's do a nice big one so I don't run out of space. And I'm not going to swap pens because that's distracting me as well today. So, like I said, we have to establish where the hip position is. Then we establish where the top of the thigh, kneecap, lower part of the shin, and then we have the foot. Now I've got enough space. We establish where the head is. The face is roughly there. And now we have the second leg that is going behind here. You can already, I think you can already see and feel the rhythm in the way she's walking. Can you not? And obviously, when you're drawing fashion, I've noticed they really exaggerate things like the feet and with regards to the weight distribution. They really push the limits with regards to quite ultra skinny. So that's something you have to work that out yourself. If you like it like that, or if you don't like it like that, that's up to you. You got to go. Okay, that's all right, mate. No problem at all. No problem at all. Has anyone got any questions about that? And what I'm going to show you as well is what I've noticed. If you draw the leg like this, it gives that leg a lot of energy, right? Because if you look at that, I've just drawn that curved line, and you can automatically feel that this leg is stepping towards us. You see that? And it's quite anatomically correct as well. Is everyone getting that? And that was because I drew a line like this. I'll do it again. And then the foot. And then you've got, I'm going to let's add a bit of anatomy to it just for demonstrative purposes. And then you can see we've got this very slender but elegant leg. Is everyone getting that? Is that no, it's not too dark, is it? Good. Let me just see what's going on in the chat. School science. Yeah. What pencil is better? No, there's no such thing as a better pencil. It depends on the hardness of the pencil. My only question is how. Hold on a minute. Hey. My only question is how do you ease in near? Yeah, this is down to foreshortening, right? Foreshortening could be a bit tricky because here we've got the knee slightly foreshortened. So it looks like she's walking, right? The thing is, if you don't understand that the thigh is a cylinder, then you'll struggle to foreshorten it. See that? Because now we've pushed this upwards. So now we're seeing less of the thigh because it's going up that way. And then if I was to draw that knee right in front of the thigh, it would look like this. Because now if the foot is roughly here and here, it's gone even higher. Let's just draw the foot like that. Let's draw the foot like that. It's even higher. It's gone from the floor, let's say from the floor there, up here. And then we'd add the hips. That's foreshortening. You have to study that. Did that help? Oh dear. Thanks for the clarity. I hope that helped. Because sometimes I do explain things very quickly and a bit scrappily, but it's for speed. I'm built for speed. Thanks for the clarity. It's starting to cut. Oh, okay, smoother and good. Yeah, you have to understand that. It's like a tube, right? Just grab a tube and tilt it. You got this tube here, and we've gradually tilted it. Yeah, and that's what you have to understand, that you have to tilt and start and so on. And then, like you see, my sketches can be a bit mad. They can be a bit erratic. But if I'm brainstorming something, I like to just keep flowing with it. That's why you notice I don't use the rubber or the or any kind of guides, with regards to rulers or anything. I just like to play around with the speed. I like to draw things very quickly, and fight to get that right position. I just push everything in the right position, and then when I feel I've got the right position, that's when I add the details. Full female body practice. Art is awesome. That was useful. You are more than welcome. Please share. That's all I ask. And hit the like button. Only 6,000 likes. Pretty terrible, actually, if I'm honest. Yeah, this is what I mean. When you're learning to draw, do not get lost in I'm making a mistake. Do not do it. There's nothing here that is correct, because I could look at this and I could say, right, I want to, because I draw like that anyway. I'll draw something like this, and I think I'm going to push it a bit further. The same image, I'll push it a little bit further, because I want to see where I can take that same image, right? So I'm going to use the same principles, but push it a little bit further. Where am I going to put let me just put the thigh here. You see what I mean? I'm using the same image, but I'm trying to push it to another level. And that's important as well. Because then you think, oh yeah, this line wasn't actually correct. This line is correct. This line is correct. Happy with that. And then all of a sudden you've altered something that you drew before and made it better. See, I've refined the red. If I was to add a head here, and then, oh yeah, that's better. I can feel it already. And then I can go, okay, let's put one arm here and one arm here, for example, right? For me, it's almost like brainstorming. You can't, I don't think you should overthink brainstorming. I think it needs to flow. And then when you start to finalize things, that's when you say, oh yeah, this is good now. Then you take it to the next level of detail. Because sometimes you draw it wrong, you draw it a bit off, and you think, not too happy with that. Let me correct it. That is okay. That is important. I'm going to curve this. Let's curve the spine here, for example. Push this shoulder. Let's go only green, right? So I'm curving it a bit. I'm going to let's push this hip. Should I put that higher? No, maybe not. Leave it like that. This is a slightly hidden. And then what you have to do is you try and look at the pose and see what energy you get from that pose. Because you might look at the pose and think, nah, this is not the energy is not right. It looks a bit like she's shy and not so confident, because you can read the energy from the poses that you draw. So that's important to understand as well. Exactly. So like I said here, you've got different body shapes for women, right? You've got different body shapes. So if you find that you have a tendency to draw your females a bit wide, draw your rib cage like this, slightly narrow. Obviously, you don't have to do wider hips for feminine hips, right? You don't have to. And then add the shoulders. So then you've got a little bit more of a narrow shoulder area. Let's tip the hips here. I'm going to tip the hips here just to show you what I mean. Now we've got a really super typical model pose. You see that? And all because I tipped the hips here. Now we've got a super model pose, whatever. You can add some clothing to it. But as a whole, we've got very slender, but you get this energy that she's quite, she's doing quite a strong pose. Like so. So I have a tendency. How do you show what? Well, this is now you're slightly getting into anatomy here, right? Because if you are drawing, even we're drawing a model's leg, right? This is probably a little bit extreme. But if we're drawing a female from the front, and we are literally drawing it quite realistically, right? This is more or less what the human body looks like, more or less, right? From the front. So we've got the hips, we've got the rib cage, we've got the hips, we've got the thigh, and so on. If we're drawing female, we're going wider here, we're going wider and smaller, right? So we're going wider on the hips, dropping that weight down here around the thigh. This is probably a bit lower. And then we go in here because that's where the knee would be, right? And then we come back out and then we go back in again towards the ankle. So this is more anatomy than it is fashion, but it has a lot to do with it. So now, if I normally draw a thigh, male or female, I would draw it like this. And exactly the same as here, I would start it like that. That's a little bit too long, but you can ignore that. And then I would add my hip section here, just like that. Then I would add my cylinders, just like that. And then I could add my feminine curves. And now, as you can see, I've added a little bit of extra detail with regards to the muscle, because I know where the muscles are. And then I've got my feminine body here, a leg. Calf maybe a little bit bigger than normal, but that's how I would do it. If you're drawing the female leg, it's exactly the same as the male leg. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some anatomy to this so you can see why I drew this with these curves. Because in theory, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. In theory, if we add the anatomy to body here, the female leg would look like this in its rawest form, right? Roughly like this. So let's say skinless here, right? An anatomically drawn leg without the skin, and then one with. So the one with obviously would be this one, where we don't see every detail and every muscle, but if we shade it up, we would certainly see something that resembles indentations and folds, and not so much folds, but slight contours. Good. How about the back? The back of the female is not very difficult. It's because all you have to do, well, it's very simple actually, because the spine is the same. If you've got the female like this and we want to draw her from the back, as you can see, as I said to you, I drew the spine line first, then I drew the hips, right? So we've got her standing like, let's say like, I'm going to correct that. I'm going to make the shoulders smaller. They're too broad. I'm going to go like this. I'm guessing now, right? I'm guessing. So we're going like that. And then her head would be here. So we're not seeing her face now, right? So I'm just drawing her head like that. God knows what I'm going to do with the other arm, but we can deal with that in a minute. And then I will add one leg here. Like so. And the other leg here. And now I'm kind of going tippy toes because I'm going to say she's wearing some wickedly high shoes or whatever as they do. So I'm just adding these heels. That's why she looks like she's on tippy toes. And let's just put this arm down here. I don't know. I'm just guessing because I haven't really thought this through. But that would be how I would execute a young lady from behind. And for me, when I look at that, I think, yeah, this is the pose that I would love to have. So then what I would do is I would add, if I'm very happy with this pose, I don't add cylinders anymore. I don't have to. Sometimes I do, but not all the time. I would just add her body shape. Bear in mind that you can turn this into a plus size if you really wanted to. You add the curves here without getting too graphic because I don't want to get myself into trouble. Like so. As you can see, I'm avoiding that area on purpose because I don't want to get flagged, if you know what I mean. Oops, gone a bit wild there. But there you go. You see what I mean. Now we've got a young lady. You can add a part of the knee, calf. We can put a dress on her. Let's just put a dress on her, whatever. So she's like that. And then, I don't know. And then... Now you see what I mean. You see what I mean. You see what I mean. That's the young lady from the back, Vinny. That's the young lady from the back. Dragon, I think I helped you there. And if you're drawing women, just don't overemphasize too many muscles, you know. And obviously, you can do a lovely. It depends. It depends on the shape of the woman. You go lovely, elegant, or you go broader. You know, this is not really. That's down to your style. That's really down to your style. It helps. Good. You just had 67 likes and 6. Oh, wow. Is that a good omen? If you're not following, please follow if you like what you see. If you want to learn how to draw serious anatomy like this, you're in the right place. If you want to learn to draw stuff like this, because that's something I designed myself. I do like to draw quite elegant females, and I designed this also myself. Don't ask me why. And then I draw stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of go down this road a bit now. I'm going to start to draw females, and then what I want to do, because I want to step away from my over masculine males that I'm drawing at the moment, because I get bored of drawing males. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus a bit more on, I like drawing hair as well. See, like I like drawing hair, as you can see. I'll just zoom in quickly so you can see some more of the detail here. So that's what I like to do. Also here, I can just zoom in on her. Stuff like that. I like to play around with minor details. And you can't draw men with boots like that. You can, but I don't. You can, but I don't. I don't do that. So, has anyone got any questions? Only 27. Oh, we've done an hour already. So I'm going to draw this to a close. That's mad. Thank you. Lifetime. I find drawing thinner. Yeah. A bit odd. Yeah, it's tricky. People don't realize that you can fall into patterns, right? And I know I'm in a pattern where I'm drawing everything a bit too big and ugly, you know, because I've been just drawing muscular and I'm drawing anatomy all the time. So I've fallen into this pattern. Hold on, I'm just going to look for something quickly. Where's it gone? Yeah, I can't really find it. But you have to avoid, yes, this is why I do things like this, because I like to look at changing my artwork and then challenging myself, right? So I challenge myself by drawing things that are really not what I'm used to drawing. And that's where I find I make the most progress. Because then I start to remember, oh yeah, I can draw it like this. Say, for example, even this leg here it's quite muscular, you know. It's still not fashion, but I'm starting to understand how to stretch it. The more I do it like this, I start to really understand it. And this could be used as a fashion drawing. This one may be less because she's probably not high fashion, because she's too little bit curvy, you know. Here, I could probably even emphasize the legs even more, right? So if I was really happy with this, I'm gonna over exaggerate the legs here. I'm gonna want the knee to be past here now, right? So I'm dragging the knee past here, and then curve, and then I'm going to curve it again, and then I'm going to curve this again here. See, so now I've stretched the body, and then we've got, see that? Do you see the distance between here and here? I've stretched her legs between here and here, and it's made that figure a lot more elegant. Do you see what I mean? That's bad. I've always been good at drawing. I'm getting better. but I'm experimenting. But you have to imagine, I'm used to drawing like, let me, I'm going to try and find a male. Just let me grab a male character. See, this is how I normally draw. This is how this is my go-to drawing style, like this. That's my go-to drawing style, right? So you have to imagine I draw like this all the time. So for me to have to draw something like anime it's a simplified version of drawing for me, right? So this is my go-to drawing style. Very angry, very angry comic book style. But that's why I like to dabble. And I do like to draw females, elegant females. And then if I'm drawing the anatomy, I draw it like that. That's all with the biro, without the pencil and stuff and so on. So that's giving you an idea as to what I normally would draw. So I like to experiment. So I start drawing since I followed you. I don't know how to thank you. Oh, thank you, Veneer. That is really nice. Please don't you draw a still portrait. Please don't. Sorry, man. Artists, I don't understand what you mean. Please don't you draw still life. Oh, still life portrait. I don't do still life. No. No, I don't do still life. I don't draw cats. Well, I've drawn a dog once. It was really nice, actually. But I know. Yeah, I might end up drawing flowers one day soon. You know, I like to challenge myself, and I like to look at what other artists are doing. And I've seen this girl, and she draws really cool, really elegant stuff, and with the flowers and stuff like that. And that intrigues me. I'm like, maybe I should try. You know, I don't think I'll be very good, but I will try. You teach in the best way. Oh, thank you, Veneer. You'll have to show me your drawing one day on a live, or just if anyone is inspired by my work and draws anything really cool, please let me know. Just mention me, and I love to see it. I love to see your work. That's the aim of the game. Do you make or want to make comics? No, no. I don't want to do comics. I would rather just do this. I would rather you guys take what I know and do your own comics. Oh, no, you can go to school. I'll be finishing up soon. Not sure. It's flowing quite good, so I might as well hang in there. But thank you for turning up, Silver Surfer. You're more than welcome. And I hope it helped. If you want me to look at your work, you have to mention me. I can't follow everyone, unfortunately, because I would never get off the computer just liking everyone's stuff. So it's up to you to contact me. So, has everyone got that? Are we all happy? I'm just going to fill out this sheet because I've got tons of paper that I always go through. And I'm just going to draw something just so you guys see what I do and how I do it. As you can see, I don't get it right perfect every single time, but that's okay. I'm not bothered about that. My goal is to get in as much practice as possible and not worry too much about, oh, this is not right and this is wrong. And, you know, it's important to get it as right as possible, but don't get obsessed with it, you know? Don't get obsessed with getting everything right. Because sometimes you have these happy accidents, like even here. We've got a kind of pose where this model or whatever has got, it's kind of a cute pose. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of a cute. She's got her legs kind of going inwards. You know, let's put one arm up. I'm just guessing this as well, right? So I'm just guessing this. So she's a little bit more, she's not supermodel type, catwalk model shape, but she's definitely quite fit looking. And there you go. We've got quite a cool looking model. Would you not agree? And you know she's looking towards this direction. We add the neck. And then that would be the basis that I would work on. As soon as I think, yeah, that's right. I like that. What's that? I have no idea what that means. Thank you, V, for your time, mate. Much appreciated. Appreciated. It's contra. What's that mean? Traposto. I don't know what that means. Is that Italian? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't speak very. The pose. Ah, thank you. Are you Italian? I'm just, you see, that's what I do a lot as well. I just doodle around, right? So that's what you guys and girls have to do. Just experiment, make mistakes, and work things out on the fly. That is really important. Don't overbend that line like I tend to do. I overbend that line sometimes because I'm really going for ultra posy. Let's go. Let's put that leg behind. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Look at that. That is lovely. Even it's not even finished, but I can see that that would be a really cool pose. Do you see that? This, we've got one leg coming to the front like that. Let's add a little bit more detail. Hips, tack, calf, and then we'd add the foot, right? No, I'm not adding much detail, but that for me is lovely. This pose, this of all the ones that I've drawn today, this is probably the best one. I love that one. You see, now this is why I have these practice sheets, because when I have these practice sheets, I can practice on them, and if it goes wrong, it doesn't really matter. But then every now and again you stumble across something like this and it's just spot on. And I would probably take this same body position here, there you go, drop the pen. That, I would draw that again pretty much exactly like that. This guy gets a follow. Has it gone dark again? Hold on, let me switch on the light. A little bit dark. Sorry about that. I didn't realise the sun was gone. Do you see what I mean? This, if you'll find I do a lot of sheets like this, a lot of sheets where I'm just doing, like now, I will just do poses, 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 poses. And the more you do it, the better it gets. I thought this one was good. I don't like this one. I thought this one was really good, but this is the best one. You see my point? And then I could draw that one again and make that into something like this. And I probably will. I'll probably draw this young lady again, use exactly the same lines. I'll just highlight these lines. The spine, the hips. Look at that. Perfect. For me, this posture is beautiful. I love it. Love that. It's got a lot of attitude. You know, it's not perfect with regards to proportion, but that's okay. but the positioning is perfect. The head size is probably a little bit too big, but those are just fine-tuning exercises. So I've got around another 10 minutes. So if anyone's got any questions, thank you for the follows and thank you for the kind gifts. How many we got in the chat? 44. Good morning, Emmys, Souls of Destiny. Has anyone got any questions? And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I will be heading to YouTube. If you're not following me, that would be nice if you did. And then you can catch up on other cool drawing techniques like this. I'm going to draw another one here as I'm waiting to see if anyone's going to ask any questions. Has anyone got any questions? As you can see, I'm a bit of a chaos freak. I just draw over everything. But it's okay. For this exercise, it's for me okay. Got broader shoulders this time. Maybe not as the energy is not right. You see what I mean? You're just experimenting. If the energy is not right, you leave it. And I will be doing some more at some stage. Has anyone got any questions? I'm going to fine tune this one actually. Even this one's coming quite good as well actually. Quite liking the look of that one. Maybe I could change the head position. But that is, if you, yeah, it depends on a couple things. If you start your head like this, flatten the sides, and then you come down less curved but slightly angular, if that makes sense, and quite narrow. I suppose you could almost say it still looks egg-shaped, but don't forget your hairline would start roughly here. So a lot of that you wouldn't actually see. And that would have, if we're drawing European hair, the hair would be coming from the core here, right? So you don't actually see the shape of the head as such. Like so. Does that make sense? This was a very entertaining demonstration. I hope it was informative, not just entertaining. Perfect. I'll fix your problem. Yeah, because it does actually. I never really thought of it like that. It's interesting when people pose questions like that. But it does look like an egg, but you have to add the hair to it to get rid of that. And from the side is the same, isn't it? I suppose you just have to think of your brow line, think of your nose line, the bridge of the nose, think of where the skull is. And I've said this in hair drawing tutorials before. I don't draw much hair actually, but if I do, I always bear in mind that you have to have the hair in zones, right? So especially if you're drawing European hair, right? So I've learned that you have got 1, 2, and 3 zones. So if you're drawing European hair, the hair at the front of the skull would drop down like so. Then it will drop down from the side, then drop down at the back. So they will all go in different directions. Do you see what I mean? And if you were combing the hair from the back here, it would, that looks terrible. Don't look at that. That's really bad. Oh, thank you, Doug. And yeah, I do a lot of these. This is another one that I did. I do tons of these, and I end up drawing on top of things, and they get a bit crazy. As you can see, they always get a little bit crazy, but I enjoy them. I enjoy them. And as you say, it does turn out to be quite artistic in a way. But it's good to experiment as well. Because then, as I say, you have these happy accidents, and then things just look cool, and you're like, oh, I'm glad I did that. And I also have the intention of doing it again. So if I do find something that is really cool, chances are I am going to draw it again. And this is a very exaggerated pose. Strike the pose. But it's pretty cool, to be honest. It's quite a good one. I'm quite liking it. Maybe it's a little bit over exaggerated, but it just gives me an idea, whoops, as to how I could exaggerate the pose. Playing around. You just play around with it. So, anyone got any questions? We're winding it down now, maybe the last 5 or so minutes. Thank you very much for the gifts and the follows. I could see the tutorials that I did with the nose and stuff like that. Wow, that is unreal. Sometimes I don't realize that people are actually doing what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. Because sometimes I think, oh yeah, I'm just doing da 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 da, and you don't imagine that people are actually going there and going, wow. There you go. So, Jossa, you are at the last. You got in late today, mate. It's finished now. We are literally finished now. We did the female body in kind of model positions, as you can see. We were brainstorming how to make the body look more elegant and so on. Different body shapes, even hair we touched on quickly. It was a great tutorial. What's the date? I like the date. I will post this on my TikTok. I have actually filmed it anyway, so hopefully this will help you if you ever want to have another look at what we did today. And you missed it all, yeah. But I will be on today later on. I'm not sure what I'm doing later on. Chances are I'm just going to go away for an hour because I've got the day off today. So I might just do another, and I'm not sure what yet, but we can definitely catch up again later on. Yeah? Good. So thank you all for joining. Thank you to all that are now following and appreciate what I'm doing. Thank you, Veneer, for showing me what she did and saying thank you. That's brilliant. Appreciate that a lot. So remember if you've mentioned me, I won't forget you. You have to mention me, but please do not push too hard because I've got quite a lot of followers and I can't be there for every single one of you. I wish I could, but I can't. If I don't, remember I do have a life outside TikTok and social media. So just take it easy. I will do my best. So anyway, have a lovely day. I wish you all the best And if you have mentioned me, at some point I will try and take a look at your work. And you can thank you, V. Thank you very, very much for your time, V. You can join my Discord, and then you'll have many people looking at your artwork. So you can join that community as well. Yeah? Have a good day, and I will see you all maybe in around half an hour from now.